Mr. Investor, welcome back to the channel, baby. Please remember, none of this is financial advice, it's for entertainment only. Today we're going to be taking a look at a few tweets that you may have missed, as well as a few LinkedIn posts that you might have missed also. These are by people who are actively using the machine or know of optical genome mapping and the Sapphire system. This is not going to be a long video, this is just us taking a look at the market and seeing what people are saying. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into the video, baby. Drop me some comments down below as well. First things first, Alka. This is the Chief Medical Officer of Bionanogenomics, and she shared a tweet on June the 3rd. This tweet was actually from CNRGV-INRAE. Ooh, you guys might already know. This is the French Plant Genomic Resources Center, CNRGV, and it's a national infrastructure unique in France and very rare worldwide, belonging to the French National Research Institute for Agriculture, Food and Environment, INRAE. And these guys put out the statement. They said, using PacBio long reads, you assemble good genomes. To turn them to great, optical map is the solution. Produced with Bionanogenomics Sapphire system, optical maps allow us to regularly obtain plant genome assemblies at the chromosome scale. But how much are they using the machine? Well, down here it says they've done 227 optical maps. I think with research, because they provide a service, it's slow and steady for their clients. But we can see it start to scale up from 2016, they had 7 optical maps, 15 in 2017, all the way up to 57 in 2020. Now, while this isn't a lot, you can see they're actively using it to optically map different species, whether it be the sunflower, the tomato, maize, bread, wheat. As optical genome mapping becomes more well known and people start to use it for research, in terms of both nationally and internationally, I think we'll start to see a snowballing effect in terms of the amount of consumables used. In other news, PerkinElmer Genomics, one of the clients who use whole genome optical mapping, went onto a podcast or a YouTube channel called DNA Today.
Can you tell me a little bit more about how genome optical mapping fits into this, and maybe giving us like a baseline explanation before we apply it to FSHD?
Very interesting podcast. Don't want to get copyright, so make sure you go to the YouTube channel DNA Today to watch PerkinElmer Genomics talk about whole genome optical mapping. In other news, a lot of you may have seen this as well. I could see it was a very popular post on LinkedIn. So this LinkedIn post was by Ravindra Kohli, Dr. Ravindra Kohli. He was talking about his preprint and sharing it with us on LinkedIn. He said he wanted to share it on CLIA validation of optical genome mapping for blood cancers. Just covering CLIA again, clinical laboratory improvement amendments. Why is it important? It establishes quality standards for laboratories to ensure the accuracy, reliability and timelessness of patient test results, regardless of where the test is performed. It helps to improve the quality of testing in the United States. So he said that it's taken a tremendous amount of work, a lot of patience and planning, and this is just the first step in his commitment to bring optical genome mapping as a standard of care test alongside next generation sequencing when you're investigating blood cancers. Look at these words here. This approach will revolutionize the way we look at blood cancers, especially in relapse and therapy resistant patients. This validation is a major component of my laboratory's OGM MOONSHOT project. When he's saying moonshot, is he talking about astronauts? He may be talking about a home run, baby. Hitting the home run, making sure that he launches optical genome mapping into the limelight, because he believes that it's going to revolutionize the way that we look at blood cancers. And now these guys are looking to implement it as a standard of care test for rare disease and blood cancers. But once you get people using the Sapphire system, once they start experimenting with the machine and what they can look at, take a look at this. There's a distributor provider called Uniscience in Brazil, and when advertising optical genome mapping, they were looking at all the applications and selling it to their customers, their clients. These are all the different applications optical genome mapping, the Sapphire system, can be used for. So these are some of the applications they've stated. The undiagnosable genetic disorders, that's one of them. So people who are on this diagnostic odyssey, they don't know what's wrong with them, you can help them close the diagnosis using the Sapphire system. Discover genes of interest and therapies. So not only can you identify these genes of interest, but you can identify their location and how the structural variations can influence them, and you can then develop new therapies. They also stated solid tumor research, genetic engineering, stability of cell lines, blood cancers, evolutionary biology, and the assembly of reference genomes. It's not just Dr. Ravindra Kohli who thinks, it's going to revolutionize just blood cancers. But if we take a look over here, there's a gentleman over in South Africa called Neo Mervin Monaghan. Is it Neo, red or blue pill? In fact, this Neo is based in South Africa. AstraZeneca. He works as a oncology clinical research associate at Icon Strategic Solutions. So about a week ago, he said, exciting days ahead for cytogenomics. As a nanoscientist and a cytogeneticist, I can predict the optical genome mapping, being the greatest nanotechnology innovation in healthcare, is going to fast track the realization of personalized medicine at a greater scale. What are you telling me, big boy? So this gentleman believes it's going to fast track the realization of personalized medicine at a greater scale. If we go over to Grandview Research, personalized medicine market is worth $796.8 billion by 2028, according to their estimates. So even if we get just a fraction of the market, or we can help with personalized medicine. But it's not just Grandview Research who believes that this market has huge potential for growth. According to President's Research, the global medicine market was valued at $2.12 trillion in 2021, but they believe it's going to reach over $5.7 trillion by 2030. They believe that personalized medicine is a sort of treatment that focuses on each patient's unique physiological characteristics, that personalized medicine is going to offer a big potential in leading the healthcare business with significant changes and adaptations, which focuses on an illness understanding and management using advanced analytics, customized medicines, patient data, and other options. So damn, how useful will optical genome mapping be in personalized medicine? Just remember back in January, we had Dr. Samaya from AstraZeneca in Cambridge, UK, and she was a senior scientist. She's from the gene editing safety group at AstraZeneca. As investors, we want to see bionanogenomics scale up as fast as they can. They've set the goal of 240 Sapphire systems installed worldwide by the end of 2022. I think they're going to underpromise and overdeliver here. I think it will be overdelivered just by a few Sapphire systems, maybe 250, 255, maybe 260. But what they're fundamentally trying to do is they're really trying to drive, validation. And if they're able to grow the install base and get some of the customers and users to develop their own assays and validate them as LDTs, laboratory developed tests, especially outside of the US, then they believe that global agencies such as, the American Medical Association, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, as well as other agencies such as the WHO, World Health Organization, will then be given enough evidence to establish that there's a need for optical genome mapping, and that this is going to drive further validation, which will drive further adoption. In terms of the 12 installs, they said they were heavily impacted by C19 and some of the effects of Omicron and the variants of C19. They also stated that there's a backlog with several systems that need to be installed, and that the overall demand and success of the business side is solid. They also stated that the installations are not the same as talking about deals that they've got or purchase orders that have come in. When they're talking about the installed base, it's just installations that they've managed to put through. But installations kind of count as a completed sale, because you've got it installed, you've then trained up, and you've closed and finalized the sale. Because if you don't deliver, if you don't help them install, then the customer's not really closed. So right now they just said, they're having a little catch up just after C19. There's something very interesting that's been said as well about innovation, especially in the genomics market. Lots of these guys are trading for, I think it was between 50 to 75%. They're down in the last year or so, according to ARK Invest. With us, it states that we're down 80% in the last year. And remember, we had the astronomical rise from 50 cents a share all the way to $15.69. And previously, Bionanogenomics said that they can be used on a one-to-one basis with high throughput sequences. And if there's several of these in the world, thousands and thousands of these, if these are a complementary device that you need, as Seeking Alpha said, it's not going to replace gene sequencing systems, but it could become a must-have complement alongside them. They also said they're going to be utilizing software. That's why they bought BioDiscovery, and they're going to use this to actually target the installed base of sequencers and arrays. They estimate it's about 10,000 systems worldwide. And in terms of that NX Clinical and Nexus Copy number, these two software products, are they going to be able to gain these customers and bring them in, increase the number of Bionano subscribers, and get this reoccurring revenue from software as a service? Another thing to note as well is, although they said that the Sapphire doesn't have FDA clearance, they believe that having FDA approval for the next instrument they bring out can actually expand the total available market and accelerate global adoption. So with their new generation of system, they begin to actually go through the FDA process after it's commercially released in 2023. So we're waiting for it in 2023. We'll look at the new Sapphire system, and the FDA clearance is quite expensive. I'm not sure how they're going to generate funds for that or what their plans are. I don't know what the cost cost is in terms of biotech, but clinical trials that support FDA approvals for drugs, so for the pharmaceutical industry, is about $19 million. So right now I think the Sapphire system is classified as research only, but before you sell it as an actual diagnostic device, before a medical device can be legally sold in the US, person or company that wants to sell the device must seek approval from the FDA. I wonder how long it takes for FDA approval and how much it costs. Drop me some comments down below, let me know your thoughts and feelings. Across the pond here in the UK, I have a really interesting video coming up for you guys as well. There's actually been some test pilot programs for using genomics for screening, and it's going to be really interesting. I'll drop it in the next video and we'll take a look at the broader market and kind of where we're going with healthcare. Now guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Wishing you guys a lovely day. I hope you have a great week ahead of you. As always, thank you so much for watching my channel. If you're able to join channel memberships, you'll help me become a full-time creator. If you click the join button just here, you'll be able to support me as a creator. It's only 99 cents a month. You can support on any tier and I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for always supporting the channel. Thank you for always liking and subscribing. And I'm gonna catch you in the next video, baby. Mr. Over and out, baby.